I was 16. Me and my friends, who I'll call Even and Jake, wanted to rent a hotel for the night since it was spring break. We got to the hotel and checked in. It had a really funky smell, but we still stayed there. Once we got to our room, it was about 3 p.m, so we decided to go swimming. The pool was downstairs, departed from the hotel. So once we got to the entrance, I spotted a man who was, I'd say, approximately 6'3", in all black with a hood covering his face. I mean, the fact that his face was covered was a little bit scary, of course. I mean, it was really warm. I panicked, but not out loud. We got into the pool and swam just for a few hours. Then I saw that man again. He was sat on a chair by the pool. I cleared my throat and, "Can I help you, sir?" I asked. No response. I was still paranoid, but I put my face in the water because I was really warm. And at the bottom of the pool was another figure that was all black. I screamed, then I ran for the door. I looked back and saw nothing. Not the guy in the chair, or the guy under the pool. My friends came over and just thought I was seeing things, but I saw what I saw. It was as clear as day. I didn't feel like swimming anymore, so I decided to get dinner at a nearby restaurant. I got a table for me and my friends to sit at, and just in the crowd, departing through the people who were sat at the tables, I saw him again. He was in all black, and he was just at the other side of the room, staring at me. I got enough. I was quite short-tempered, so I went over there, and I lost track of him. He took off. I didn't see him after that. I decided that I'd just had enough of this trip. I was just a little bit shook, scared, and a little bit creeped out considering it was just me who'd seen these guys. I thought we should leave tomorrow morning. My friends didn't like the idea, of course. It was roughly around about 10:30 at night. My friends and I dozed off in the hotel room. During my sleep, I must have woke up to some noises. I saw a shadow of a figure at the end of my bed. I calmed myself down and told myself it was my hat that I put there before I went to bed. I mean, I just fling my clothes whenever I'm tired. I went back to sleep. It must have been roughly 30 minutes, and I got woke up to more noises. I noticed I was thirsty, so I reached under the bed and tried to grab my water bottle, but I grabbed something else. It wasn't my water bottle. It was my hat. I was so shaken. I looked up and my scream it just wouldn't come out. I finally picked up the courage and screamed at the top of my lungs, and I heard a voice next to my ear say, "You're a bitch." I jumped out of bed and realised it was the two men in black right there. I tried to fight them, but it was no use. They dragged me continuously. I must have woke up a few hours later. Everything just went pitch black. Turns out I was on a stretcher. Those guys, one of them, had stabbed me. Until this day, no one has been caught, and I have to sleep with a nightlight on, just for fear. This happened a few months ago to my friends and I. We are university students in Cape Town, South Africa. So when we are trying to get through the semester, we like to let our habits get the better of us and go out for drinks. On this night, we had just finished what felt like an extra long day at university and decided to head to a bar about 5 minutes from campus just for some needed stress relief. The evening was going well. Although a bit slow, it was enjoyable with someone having a drink and getting a bit restless. So me, being one of the more outgoing ones in the group, I suggested we head to the pool bar not far from where we were. Everyone agrees, and we get our stuff and we go. We all jump in my car. We get to the bar, but being a Thursday night, parking was scarce. I finally managed to find a spot about a block away from the bar, but it was in a secluded side street. I should also mention that this bar is in one of the sketchier parts of town, but is normally quite safe due to the amount of nightlife associated with being so close to a university. We walked to the bar, and no one really felt uneasy, nor did anything happen to make us feel that way. It was quite surprising, actually. After a few hours of some pool and just relaxing, we decided it was time to grab dinner. This was just before restaurants closed, as being in South Africa means that most restaurants, even fast food, they close really early, around about 7, 8 p.m, just to comply with a curfew. We decided to stop at the pizza place below the bar, just to grab some food before we all decided what the plan for the end of the night was. So because our group was so large, and the pizza place being so small, we decided to have those getting food go inside, while the others who didn't just wait outside on the street. This was an easy decision, as the pizza place had a massive open window with built-on counter, just so we could still talk to each other. This is where things started getting a little bit weird. While we were waiting for our friends inside the pizza place to come out, this massive white van pulls up past us and stops. The driver wasn't an intimidating looking dude. He was skinny, looked to be about average height, with shoulder long blonde hair. A pretty standard looking dude for the kind of area we were in. He calls me and asks if I think his van could fit in a parking spot just behind him. For perspective, this parking spot could probably fit like a small hatchback maybe. This dude is driving a full, long size panel van. This makes me feel a little bit uneasy, as I thought that as of a driver of a car, you should know where your car can definitely not fit, and this was one of them. It just didn't make sense. It was literally twice the size of this parking spot. I explained to him that I didn't think it was even worth attempting. He responds telling me that he has faith in his ability and I should come stand behind the van and direct him in. This gives me really major red flags, and after a few back and forths, he just pulls the emergency brake up and sits and stares at my friends and I for what felt like an eternity. He then thanked us and drove off. This sparks my friends to come outside from the pizza place as they just saw what happened. They were quite confused. We were all kind of weirded out, but think nothing of it, and everyone eats their pizza. We try to decide what the plan is for the last hour or two, and then, of course, the curfew would cut things short. Most of us decide this is where the night is going to end, as we're all kind of weirded out by the guy in the van. A few others decided they were going to stay and just Uber home a little later in the evening. With our group number cut down to 4, we decided to walk back to the car and just head home. When we left the pizza place, a homeless person called us and was insisting we had nothing to worry about with the guy in the van. This didn't help with anyone's nerves, it just made it a little bit worse. We then decided to head to the car, but as soon as we turned the corner to approach the side street where the car was parked, we see Van Man again. This time, not quite so happy as he seemed in his encounter earlier. I made a cheeky comment about him finally finding a parking spot he could fit in while we were just walking past each other. He just stared at my friends and I, not breaking eye contact even when we passed him. I turned around to see if he was still looking. He was. But as we turned the corner for side street, I saw it and my heart sank. The van, horribly parked, half on and half off the sidewalk, back doors slightly open. Upon seeing this, I turn around and see Van Man is now walking towards us. But he said something that confused me at first, but immediately made sense after. He said, "Hey, please just watch my car." Just after he said this, 4 men sat up from leaning on the wall next to it and began following us. My friends and I were slightly ahead of them, so we were trying to discuss the game plan, because it was obvious if we did nothing, something horrible was going to happen. My friends started walking faster. I remained at the same speed, frantically searching my pockets for my car keys, all while shouting at my friends to wait up, asking what the rush is, all in hopes the guys behind us, who were gaining on us, were oblivious to us knowing they had sinister intentions. As soon as the car came into view, we booked it, jumped in, drove off. But we were only seconds from not being that lucky. After locking the car doors, I saw the men surrounding the car. I managed to get us out. Looking back in the mirror, I saw a 5th man by the van at the bottom of the street. I still have no idea what their intentions were that night, if it was to rob us, or just beat us up, or worse. I don't really like to think about how lucky we were that night. I ask that when you're out, no matter how innocent an interaction with someone can seem, always pay attention to the little things. It's the difference between life or possible death.